Alrighty, I think that's it. I am in standing desk mode, and so it's a little different for me here on camera positioning, but I think I'm good.
I already went live, so we're live.
What's going on there, buddy?
Boom. I need
Done
more
deal.
streaming equipment, damn it.
Don't we all? Well, what's going on, guys? Y'all having a good night?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, busy week. Hit
Busy?
some checkpoints this week, and now tonight just feels like I can do some GMI stuff, play some poker, catch up on things.
Well, congratulations, man. I have had quite the opposite. I felt like it's been a kind of a slow week, quite honestly, on my side of things, and haven't had too much going on. So, good job on the progress.
Yeah. Lots of bankless drama. Lots of proposals.
When is it not drama? Y'all always had drama over there. It's one of the most dramatic gaming communities I've ever seen. Or just a non-gaming community having that much interaction is a rare thing. Be thankful.
Yeah. Lots of people interested in governance,
And
everybody wants to govern over there.
Well, is Z-Fi taking over? Is he slowly sweeping the floor over there?
Oh,
I'm sweeping.
I wish it was Z-Fi.
I know how that goes. That's why I just stay put where I've already dug my nest. No one can claim this foxhole. What's going on, Gotchi Bulls? Thanks for joining us, man. Thanks for being here. Okay, I got my screen share up. Let me change this right here because it's not a fireside. Syncopator notes. I might get interrupted here in a little bit because Smokescreens is coming up to hang out tonight, and so at some point in time he'll probably be showing up out front, so I might dip out and just kind of leave things hanging, so don't be scared to pick up if I say, oh, gotta go. But for the time being, here we go. It's really a short meeting tonight. Very lighthearted, not a lot to do, not a lot to discuss. Hefe was essentially out all week, and so it's noticeable. It's tough when DAO project manager's not around. He's definitely part of the motivation to keep things always on the forefront. And so I have not minded one bit this breathing week, so I'm glad, like I said, you guys are productive elsewhere. But just in Gacha Gang in general, I think the biggest news is probably next week we're looking at releasing the NFT displays, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's 6 days away from today. It's next Thursday, so that's kind of the thing that's on the forefront of my mind. And then just honestly just taking a nice deep breath of the DeFi in the air right now and just taking a glimpse of where things are at, how things are looking, where the vibes are. If there's anything to do, is there anything new? Is there anything at all going on? So I just kind of spent a week reflecting. Cool. So guild news. We can start off with the Chasm, the dashboard, and so it's just right over here. And so this is on the 90-day scale because it looks better, and so I'll show through all three of them. But on the 90-day scale, the Twitter followers, the Discord members, showing strong numbers, up 32 and 46%. As we shrink in time scale, it's a little more relevant to the now. So 30-day down a little bit in the Discord. Twitter's holding 14 days. Twitter's holding. And I think the Discord will be down.
What is that?
I know it's kind of weird. We're bleeding in the Discord, not in the Twitter. This is on the 7-day. Look at that Discord to Twitter chart. That's rare. Or I don't know about rare, but I think it's also unique. Yeah, but I tend to have found in my experience that, and I think we're actually doing really good in the GMI server because I've tend to found that most protocols are kind of a 2-to-1 in their community size from Twitter followers to their Discord members. This will show us all kind of just the newest people that followed. So Click obviously followed us now, and that's thankful there, but we've picked up quite a few other relevant and useful people. Some just interesting individuals, and you love to see these high reach accounts. These are people with at least 20 or at least 3,000 followers to get that high reach tag by Chasm. So it's always nice when we see these high reach accounts starting to follow GMI specifically. 2 active GMIP proposals. So these are available currently in the Def GMI voters channel in server, and these are going to be open for another 2 hours, and then these close out here tonight, Friday night. At the end of this call is kind of the idea. If we ran long, hopefully we won't. But yeah, 2 proposals available there, 4 in the works, 2 that are active. So 1 and 2 are both live right now. 3 and 4 are still being built out. So proposal 1 is just grabbing some AR tokens. So this is something from ZFi. Thinks it's a good idea to allocate about $100 budget and grab us maybe 10 RWeave tokens and just kind of keep those somewhere for a rainy day. One thing I was thinking about this on Z, as I was just yesterday, it popped into my head, is what wallet is going to maintain custody of these, because I don't think, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think Arweave has like a Gnosis type multisig, but maybe they do, because I haven't really explored tons on the Arweave network. So something to think about there is, where's the custody of these if that does pass, and it looks like it's going to pass. And then the second proposal is for the Clifton strengths test, and so this is looking for Hefe, for Thrax, for Zombie, and for ZFi. We're a little fly. We're looking at securing 4 vouchers to procure for the Clifton strengths test offered by Gallup. And so these are just it's kind of like the old school, the four letters that made up your personality, the Myers-Briggs personality test. This is kind of just a modern day version of that, and not necessarily a professional setting wrapper. It's really just personal information on what makes you tick.
It's your work astrology.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to read some tea leaves here on your pro life. And so I think that's a good idea. Rigo, ironically, did it back in like 2012, he was saying. What an old man. But he gave some good heralds on that, so I think that also looks like it's going to pass. So it's the 2 active proposals that are currently up for governance, and they're both looking good. 3 and 4, as said, getting built out, but 3 is about getting the GMI Summit staff team paid for the Artist Summit. A lot of work got put into that, and it took a lot longer than anticipated, so it's a little bit after the fact here in a pretty long way, but still looking to get that secured. The DTF, or Dow Treasury Task Force, was kind enough to support us with 1,000 Ghost for the Artist Summit, and so that's what we're looking at distributing for that team payment. 4 is to diversify the treasury. This one, maybe Z, if you want to have some kind of opinion here, you're the rough author on this one, and it's still kind of very much in works, but just kind of a general attitude of diversifying out of just the essentially Ghost and USDC position that we currently have.
Very much still in the works. I just figured that as a guild, as a group, as a social organization, we should be focusing on accumulating a balance of tokens, because we're going to need them. We're going to need to be building things on our parcels and fueling up bounce gates and all that. So we're going to need a stack of all the Alchemica. We're going to need a little bit of glitter. And
okay. I thought you were like
he just became a meme. He just became a meme, didn't he, Anthony? We need to diversify. We need more Alchemica and glitter.
Yes. Yeah, we need to go deeper.
I know. Here I am like, let's buy some ETH or something. This dude's like, no, we need alpha and glitter. That's it. Alpha and glitter, diversify.
What do you want to what are you bullish on right now? You think some quick, maybe some curve? Oh, okay. We just need some alpha, some keg. Right on. I'm into it. And Gachible's right. We need them all. And so, yeah, at least in gameplay assets, that makes sense. Do we, as a group, feel like the Alchemica market is on permanent, downslope, or is there a bottom to be called?
I mean,
everyone is waiting for the bottom. We're all playing chicken right now. It's pretty cheap, at least comparatively. But even at these prices, I think that puts each Alchemica token at somewhere like a $400 million market cap.
Oh, I can buy that. I'm alright with that.
Here's the
Maybe
thing,
a little early, but yeah, in general, I can buy it in spirit.
I think with as much as we're talking about turning off the bonding curve and everything, I think no matter what the play, whether you look at like the safety of Ghost or you look at the potential of turning off the bonding curve and then it becomes a speculative asset, either way, it seems like getting out of Alchemica in the short while makes sense, and that's probably why people are just like dumping into Ghost. And then like when the bull is back on, when the game starts having some really interesting mechanics, we're gonna see people suddenly flooding back in, and then that's when people are gonna try to buy the bottom so that they can build out their farms and everything. So
it would take a little bit of on-chain sniffing that I haven't done yet, and maybe there's a utility that exists that I'm not aware of or haven't explored yet that y'all are aware of. I'm curious to wonder about your opinions, because when I walk the Gotchiverse, I still see a whole bunch of empty parcels, And so
For
I'm
sure.
very curious how active the farming ops are. And do we feel like there has been a substantial enough front running community that have these level 9 essentially farms already built out that they're going to continue to be like a source of dump only for Alchemica? Or do you think that the
I don't.
community will like overcome that first hurdle of front runners?
I would think even the front runners didn't build out all of their property, right?
So they theoretically still have more Alchemica to spend in their horizon as well.
Yeah, I
I
would
so
say.
I'm personally playing a long game with my installations because uninstalled harvesters and reservoirs and all that stuff comes back at 50% Alchemica value, right?
As of now, there has
Oh
been
gosh, that's
talks
a
in the
good point.
past about stopping that, but as of right
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
yes.
Because that's currently how I'm playing it. Is I have some farms that are built up on heavy on one, just FUD or just FOMO or just alpha, and when it drains that humble, do I leave it all as a FUD farm or do I strip it and then reconfigure it? And hopefully at that stage the price of FUD is maybe higher than when I bought my installations, and theoretically the 50% return could still be like currency based about the same equivocation.
Uh huh. Yeah, kind of the way I'm playing it is thinking about like, I built out one farm at a level 5 right now, and I'm at this point where I'm like, all right, do I start building another farm to a level 5 or do I go to level 6 on this one?
Yeah.
But the way
So
I'm
I'm
looking at it
I'm
is like that if you were to get, a spacious or a humble to 7 to 9, then you can essentially look at 50% of that as like I mean a spacious or a reasonable. You can look at 50% of that as like the build out of a humble. If you were because the thing is there's no point in stopping at level 4. You have to hit level 5 no matter the size of the land. So I know that people are saying it doesn't make sense, and the numbers say it doesn't make sense to go to a 5 on a humble, but you kind of have to, or it doesn't make sense to even like get the Alchemica out.
I have
the the
5 parcels, all at level 3. I'm harvesting from none of them because it does not make financial sense to harvest.
Right.
Oh damn.
The only way,
Okay.
like at a level 4, like I have a level 4 humble, and the only way it would, and I haven't built out the farm. It's just the altar, but the only way it would make sense to not go to level 5 is if I only hit it during spillover, because then I would get a chance to collect the rest of the spillover, and then it might make sense if I could collect a lot of that. But
Because you got
other
a
than
huge
that,
chop off the top, basically.
exactly. But
Otherwise,
other than
without the
that, you're
spillover.
better off hitting a level 5 and then still doing it only during spillover, and then it makes sense.
So I'm currently running like a gauntlet of channeling on the daily basis, and so I have level 5 parcels, or my two main farms, a FUD farm and a FOMO farm, both reasonables. They both have 4 reservoirs at level 4 on one, level 5 on the other. Both altars are level 5, and then 16 harvesters of each respective type, because that's the max you can place harvester wise on a reasonable. And so I'm just kind of scaling up from there. But I've kind of hit the same point where I'm also thinking that it doesn't make sense to keep pushing higher up, and it's because of the window of renewal for the channeling. And so at level 5, that's renewing every 6 hours. And so I wake up in the morning, and so I'm holding 9 gotchis right now. So I wake up in the morning and I have 4 parcels that I'm managing in this strategy. And so I take a set of 4 and go and channel first thing in the morning. And then about 6 o'clock, 6 hours later, maybe about 1 or 2, maybe 3 if I'm late in the afternoon, I do my second round of channeling. And then afterwards, maybe about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, do a third round of channeling. Depending on how late I stay up, I do a fourth round. And so I'm like, if I go higher in my altars, I'm going to create capacity that I can't even utilize. And so I've personally been stuck there mentally. Like I would need more gotchis or to start to try to break into the rental market, which I don't
Yeah.
love.
I don't think about the channeling as much as just the spillover and the harvesting for that part of it. Because I'm almost like, well, the channeling will pay for the altar anyway. I don't really count the altar as part of my farming cost because I'm like, well, channeling will make up for the altar eventually.
Mm.
Because you're gonna do it, and so eventually that will break even. But
Well, and I'm
that's
currently hitting.
over, yeah.
Well, I'm currently hitting my first moments where I'm like, damn, I need to upgrade the altar specifically so I can upgrade farming equipment.
Exactly. Yeah, so I like being at a level 5, but I would rather be at a level 6. But I'm also at that point where these NFT displays are about to drop, and I don't have enough to hit a level 6 altar. But I'm like, okay, I'd rather get a golden NFT display.
I think I agree with that mentality. Maybe you could pick one off the secondary later and catch a sweetheart deal or something. But in general, you got a long curve on the altar. No rush. No rush to get
I
everything
mean,
paid
the
off
other
in the
part
first
too
year.
is if we see a bounce in the market and things start looking good, then I don't think Alchemica will see that spike. So we'll actually have an arbitrage moment where we can go, oh look, my ETH has
The
gone
market's
up.
up.
I can
Buy
buy
in.
some Ghost with my high-priced ETH, and now I can actually buy some Alchemica, and yeah.
We've only ever seen Gotchi ecosystem lag in every way. It lags up and it lags down. That's a good point. Remind me when it's happening.
So when we see that big market bounce and we think the bull's back on, it's like, okay, buy up your Alchemica, get ready, because this is go get your golden altar because they're about to jump. Everything's about to jump. Get in there.
I like it. Speaking of that potential bull market here, we mentioned this a little bit during the D420, but the ZK EVM for Polygon, the testnet, is up and running. That's something I'm spending not a lot, but a decent amount of my attention on and free time on. So I have secured Gorley ETH. I got a lot of Gorley testnet ETH. So if you need some Gorley ETH, you can let me know, and I can transfer that to you on the Gorley testnet, and then you can go to the Polygon ZK EVM testnet bridge that goes from Gorley testnet to the ZK EVM testnet, and you can make the bridge with that Gorley ETH and at least have presence on the ZK EVM testnet and start just raise your hand to say you were there, because there's nothing to interact with yet DApp level. There's some smart contract direct interactions to be done. QDAO is over there, and so you can claim they have a Qi faucet and a My faucet that can be interacted with at the contract level. But I expect that in a matter of a few weeks, we're going to see a lot of early testnet, like actual graphic user interface interactions, actual DApp front ends. And so I'm super, super stoked about ZK EVM. They released Hermes, they released Avail, and people were slightly excited, but no one that I know is using those on a daily basis, and I don't know dApps that are heralding that they're using those services yet. But I think the ZK EVM really has some potential. Like, as mentioned, Aave's over there, Cheetah's over there, Lens is over there. I think Compound's playing over there. There's a lot of unique big players that are already starting to sniff up this Polygon ZK EVM. Zombie, you're in the middle of your Halloween release, right? Which one's coming up? 3?
We just dropped 3, which was Friday the 13th. Dropped that on Thursday, and then
Nice.
Yep, we got 3 more coming.
Are you doing those by the collect limit, or are they by a timeline?
There are 13 of each, and there's
man, that's
them.
easy.
Yep.
Nice.
At 6.66 die.
There's a lot of numerology in there. I dig it. And then I don't know if anyone saw it. I just ran into this today, and it's actually ironic because Gotchi Farmy reached out to me to talk about the same thing. He also saw the news. So good ghosting, like community governance, is starting to be introduced over there. And so if you remember the old ghost savings games that we did a while back with good ghosting, they're still kicking and screaming and doing really good over there. V2 is on its way, but they want to start doing like community sourced snapshot-based voting to introduce game parameters. So they want to let community members be like, I want to see a savings pool using Ghost for X amount of time at X many deposits with X amount of incentives. And all of these, presented pool proposals will compete on Snapshot to see which ones went out, and then they'll launch those pools. And so I don't see any reason on this earth that Gotchi Gang can't come together again, like we did on the last governance proposal with them to make the partnership when we did the last savings pool, and dominate that snapshot vote and put out some really badass ghost savings pools directing good ghosting incentives to us.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm paying attention. I think they said the 18th, so 4 days from now. So next Tuesday is when they're gonna release or open proposals. And so I think Gotchi Farmy's already got the same idea. He's got 2 DMs sitting here over here that I haven't read yet. So I'll get there to him, but it's something that I think is going to make sense for the Gotchi gang because there aren't a lot of other communities that are as cohesive as we are, and so we really have a good potential to show up as a wedge and put ourselves right there.
Yeah.
Gotchi Bulls is in here, so I don't know if he'll help Mike or not, but at least we've been seeing the text chatter. Just shout out and congrats. You're spinning up. Your tempo's increasing. You got a lot of irons in the fire, and so it's just been really cool to see what you've been up to, and we're keeping a really close eye. I don't know if you, Zombie, personally have seen the animation teasers that he's been releasing on Twitter and on Lens, but he's got some pretty high quality stuff that he's working on. So Gotchi culture, it's sick.
I don't.
Oh god, the chubby Gotchis were about to eat a little baby liquidator too. He's got a comic book vibe going. He's got some teaser animations going. Really cool stuff. And so I'm just really happy to watch him coming along. And we'll patiently await our GMI hype video production because I know he'll kill it when he's got the time for it. He or she.
I think cornering that baby liquidator market was the play.
Oh, absolutely. There's some serious mimetic powers within there, and so that's
make some
work
merch.
out. Yeah. The chubby Gotchis. I'm gonna be my own chubby Gotchi for Halloween. I was hoping John Gotchi or New Futuristic would be here tonight, either one of them, but just putting it on here for notes. No Futuristic mentioned in the D420 that he'd like to get hooked up with John Gotchi to do some coverage on the scavenger hunt that he had recently done. Bless you, Z-Fi. We almost lost our freaking minds with that one, but I'm glad we pulled it out in time before the deadline on that, and so we'll get those two linked up. That was one of the most, I gotta say, that was one of the most fun, quote-unquote experiences that I've had in crypto yet.
It was captivating enough for me to put a lot more time than I should have into it.
I don't think they'll see this, right? Because I threw work out the window that day. I think you did too. We both just said, well, this is what I'm doing today.
I put probably 8 hours into that. With clues. If I didn't have clues, I'd have been screwed.
I was very close.
Through this. I need to add something to the agenda. We need to talk about the pub crawl.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's put that here under new ideas. That's perfect. Let's pub crawl. I heard you mentioning your idea of the details on 420, and I love it, man. It sounds like a really good and easily accomplished goal.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be that hard. I think the main thing is, obviously spaciouses are going to be better, or groups of reasonables. So the more people that we can get in the same neighborhood to occupy a space and time, and then no futuristic can actually follow people around. Since he's all over the place, he could almost wherever we're at just be channeling that neighborhood at the same time, so that there's
peripheral rain.
Yeah.
I mean, how ambitious are you looking for an MVP for just a minimum viable MVE, minimum viable experience? Maybe 3 districts, 4 districts, 4 different parcels we can go visit. I know you mentioned John Gotchi for maybe the start. You mentioned GMI Estate to end. So basically, what's between West Side D1, Far West Side D1, and D12? What kind of snake can we draw?
It doesn't take very long, so it can actually grow. We already have the MVP in the form of John Gotchi and GMI. We just happen to start and end the call, so it's almost like anybody who jumps in the middle, as it grows, we just reorganize. And the only thing that can make it difficult is for people that can't be there for the whole 2 hours, because then they may need to channel at a certain time. But,
it's like a parade route.
But I think it would be especially with bounce gates, if we could really structure this out to where people know open up your bounce gate from 9:15 to 9:25. That's your time, or whatever it is. Because you don't even really need 10 minutes to
Are bounce gates gonna have like toggle switches? Huh? There's gonna be like open and close bounce gates.
Well, it's by glitter, so you could basically just put a quarter in, and you know it's only going to be open for the next half hour. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
love it. I've only thought of overfunding the bounce gates. I haven't actually considered underfunding them. So like, yeah, you could basically leave it off, and you can fund it specific to your event timeline.
exactly. So we could get it so tight that people like open up their bounce gate like right when it's their time, and then the last one is shutting down. So if you're just coming into the pub crawl, you know where everybody's at because the bounce gate's open.
That's actually really cool, and that makes
That's
good
brilliant.
sense. Yeah, I like that a lot, man. I think it's a really good idea. Pub crawl is, just this rapper term in general, but yeah, this idea of a spillover parade in general, just linking, because oh man, and we have 2 full hours of spillover. There's a lot that we could cram into there.
Right. And so really it just gets the more people that jump into this thing, we just have to keep it organized by whatever makes sense. And if we actually get enough people to jump in, maybe you never have to use bounce gates because we literally just go parcel to
That's
parcel.
crazy good, man. I really like that. You can have this coordinated timeline that people know to operate on, so that way you're having parcel owners channeling sequentially, and there's this this snake of spillover that is being formed within the Gotchiverse. That's a really cool idea.
We can coordinate this. We're gonna crush whatever dungeons they try to throw at us in this game.
Yeah, no, this is gonna work. This one's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I think this one's a pretty low-hanging fruit. John Gotchi definitely inspired it. Like us doing GMI at the end of the call, it was like, wait a second, there's some dots to connect in the middle here.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Any other low hanging fruit on y'all's minds? Things just spitballing, loose things, or things that are just in the front of your minds, gotcha wise.
I'm glad the NFTs are out. Holy crap.
That's what I'm feeling.
Jeopardy
I
and the
kinda,
trivia.
and I think I have. Where do I have those on there? Right here under the gaming. Yeah, okay, so Orium interest. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Orium has made a couple of tweets towards Shaw from Aavegotchi ATF, because Shaw is in this unique situation. Yeah, I like watching, or I like reading along with Gotchible's text. It's interesting. I feel like you're having two conversations at once. Orium interest. So Shaw, worked really hard on his light paper for the arcade platform that he wants to create. So it's not an issue, but the concept is far beyond what ATF was initially scoped with, and that's where he's kind of running into some friction, because they had a meeting. So Hefe as DAO project manager, and Pixelcraft, and also Shaw as kind of the lead, current lead at ATF, which is essentially in shambles in terms of its organizational coherency. All met to talk about this, and it didn't go far, because Pixcraft just didn't see the vision that Shaw has in his head. And it's not to say that one's wrong and one's right. It's hard to say at this stage, but Shaw has a very ambitious plan for this ATF gaming platform. So he wants a standalone hosted website that is a little bit akin to Miniclip, and it has bounties and reputation points and social rep, and just a very dynamic and extensive ecosystem for mini games, not just a couple mini games or just a platform where we can list some links to these other hosted websites. He sees this comprehensive vision, and Pixcraft is a little bit like, hey, great, but not now. That's too much. That's not what we're trying to do. Don't want to do that. And Orium Guild has kind of stepped up to say, hey, we're interested in that. What's going on over there? And so I'm hoping to see if we can't talk to, Ernani, or even a Futuristic as head of partnerships, and see if maybe we can't get those guys to link up and see. It'd be cool. Now here's the thing, right? If Pixelcraft lets this walk, and Orium snatches it up and says, we'll fund this, we'll support this, we'll help you push this, and then they end up with a damn good product or front end or platform, they can easily front run what the Pixcraft team may have intentioned for their down the roads. They don't get to have all the victories.
I mean, the main problem with this whole project is really just the server load, right? It would be about needing to have server hosting for a platform this big.
Exactly. Just I think we're streaming, but it's fine. I don't think anything's too crazy. The number that these guys are thinking about for this in like this visionary, futuristic Aavegotchi. I don't even want to call them mini games at this point. Just this gaming platform or portal. Yeah, it's definitely an arcade. They're thinking like $100,000 budget requirement, and so that's
year?
just at least on initial build. Who knows what the operating costs may be? I don't think it'd be as high. I think these are construction costs, but they're talking like $100,000 expected construction cost, and that blew my mind.
Yeah, I think
yeah.
I think a lot of it does come down to the server. I think that is the biggest cost, is because once you try to scale, you have to pay for every person that comes in, basically.
Well, and this is where Zephi, back to your proposal one there, I honestly think that the solution is probably living in Arweave. We just don't know it yet. We don't have that skill set inside of our community yet. And I'm personally trying to
cloud storage.
Exactly. And I'm trying to get better at Arweave. They have a platform called SmartWeave, which is the introduction and the creation and introduction of smart contracts on the Arweave network, because it's its own standalone blockchain with its own consensus layer. It's decentralized storage, but it's its own whole network. And they've now introduced smart contract capabilities that are EVM compatible, so you can build on Arweave the way you can build on ETH or Polygon. And so they have this really ambitious plan to see developers building out a whole entire DApp ecosystem underpinned by decentralized storage that Arweave inherently provides. And so I feel like something like that is probably the solution for this. We just don't know it yet. I don't know if you guys saw, but Google is starting to accept crypto payments for Google Cloud hosting services. They're trying to steal a whole bunch of the AWS hosting business by offering a futuristic decentralized option.
Interesting.
I still think that this is all because of Sam Padilla showing up on A to Z. You guys converted him, and that was it. And he was like, "Holy shit! This I need to really push this Google crypto mission."
Yeah, man.
If it's him, he's doing a great job.
His Twitter's really interesting. That dude's pretty cool, man.
Also, I don't know if you saw, but we front ran AGMI. AGMI is the Austin Gonna Make It Guild.
I saw that. I loved that.
I know. I was like, oh, cool. They're a derivative guild. We'll claim them. They don't know it.
Right.
We will claim them.
Hey, by the way, you're a part of our organization. All the derivative GMIs will be absorbed. Gotchi Bulls. I don't know if it was Bitcoin only. I think it's across the spectrum. I think it's all like the ERC20s on Ethereum network as well as Bitcoins. I think they just kind of buzzworded. Oh, we take Bitcoin now. I think it was the details were saying that they are accepting of crypto payments, and they actually, if I'm remembering the article correctly, I'm pretty sure that Google is working with Coinbase Enterprise to be the exchange layer. So that way, when you pay Google with crypto, they just swap it out on the back end using Coinbase integrations. I'm almost positive that I remember that, and I also fired up my Coinbase wallet. Oh gosh, my Google in the other room is trying to talk to me. Sorry, my
Google thinks it's ahead of the curve. Pirate Bay's been taking Bitcoin since 2015.
Oh yeah, the good old days, right?
Maybe
I don't know if you guys can see this really well. So there you go. This is the Katakali dancers, right? And so this is an NFT that was produced by Cope Studio and released on the Polygon network using the Coinbase wallet. It was the first one of its kind. It happened like back in June or July.
Oh.
And we lost him.
Rugged.
I could tell that video was really dragging on his bandwidth there.
Yep. Talking all that mess.
Welcome back.
Hey, what's going on? Let's see. Let me jump in here real
Howdy.
quick. Let's see here. Let me go. I think my phone thought I was trying to talk to it. I can hear my Google speaker in the other room going, like reading an article. Let me go unplug it.
That's awesome. It's like
Nobody can speak about Google in a public place because all the devices will be listening. Big Brother is watching.
All right, cool.
I don't have any of that stuff.
I have them in every room. I have one in my bathroom.
Oh my goodness, that's a little
So
intense.
I can listen to music in the shower or find out what time
Google,
it is
wipe
while I'm
my
pooping.
ass.
I'm okay with that future. What's going on, Slaps? Slaps snuck in on us here. Just trying
Google,
to hide out in the
activate
bleachers.
bidet.
Now that can work. That will work. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm very close, guys. I'm about to actually make it. So I'm very close to my first ever in real life purchase of a heated toilet. I am about to finally arrive. I'm about to be a real adult.
Nice.
Let's see here. We talked about John Gotchi, talked about some of the gaming stuff. Subgraph. Subgraph is built by Billy Bishop. It's a fantastic, kick-ass looking platform that he's building out. Very ambitious. There's probably a lot of work to be done on it. I don't know how to help him with it, but we're supportive as hell. I'm looking forward to seeing more from that. Talked about Gotchi Jeopardy. This is definitely low-hanging fruit. This is easy. That it doesn't need any. We'll want to find, in my mind, we'll want to find a way to tie it into the Gotchiverse, at least host it in the Gotchiverse, like we stand on the GMI parcel, but it doesn't take like any dev work. We could do this like with text moderation right off the bat. Same thing with the Gotchi chess. I want to see it wrapped in Gotchi lore and Gotchi art, but we could literally go to chess.com and play chess with Gotchi Gang, stuff like that. But I want to see it in the Gotchiverse. We have tiles. It's all built out in squares. And so it's just too easy. I really want to see an Alice in Wonderland
That
style.
would be cool. I mean, it would be that, now you've got me thinking. I wonder what kind of like more interactive things we could do like that. Like, cause like obviously chess would be hard because you would have to have people be the players, but only two people making the decisions. So that would be kind of weird. But
It's a $200 heads up fight from the two controllers, the two generals, and then you have stipends paid out to all the pawns and players.
Okay, wait. We need to think about this now. They're building out the ability to drop Alchemica. How can we use the ability to drop Alchemica to make a group game? Like, how can we use that? And it might not be that the dropping itself is part of the game, but maybe you can almost like lay out Alchemica in certain spots and have those be like goals. Like, you can almost do like a race where first one to the Alchemica, and then one person has to go drop it and be the moderator to say who got there first.
Yeah. I like it.
That's one way you could think about it. And you could almost have it be like the streamers, me, No Futuristic Hefe, can kind of be the moderators because we can stream it, and then other people would be able to see, the results.
Oh, sweet. Slap says he can contribute some rigged models, so we can definitely win every round.
That's what we need is rigged models.
He'll animate them too. Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot to open the. Oh, Jarvis flashed me. That's fantastic. See.
Yeah, the chess is interesting though. That one. It seems like more like, I mean, that one. Okay, so this is something I've thought about for a while. Like, I would love to see like a Super Nintendo emulator for the Gotchiverse, basically, where you can use your
100%.
Aavegotchi assets in some Super Nintendo games like Link to the Past and stuff like that.
I'll even back up a layer and say that I don't even need the Gotchi asset integration. Just let me be a Gotchi in the Gotchiverse and go to a terminal and play the classic game as it's rendered. Like, I don't even need them to work on the art assets. I'll just play Contra, but I just want to play against somebody in the Gotchiverse.
Well, the only reason I say the skins like that is because it's so like, like it would, Doom 2 had that, where they had like Army of Darkness versions and all these other, because it's so easy to just trade out all the things with mod files.
True.
It would be
Actually,
cool
yeah.
to have like, I don't know what games would be good for that, but I know like Link to the Past, maybe some of the Final Fantasy games.
For the love of God, Uncharted Waters 2. It's for my whole entire life. It's all I want. It's just a revival of Uncharted Waters 2. Please let me go sailing in my Gotchis. I look back. I don't know how many of y'all ever played that game specifically, but I look back and I remember that I had like a handwritten notebook that had the trade routes from ports to ports and what you would buy and what the rates were, and carpet in Athens, and you would sell that in Istanbul and buy spice in Istanbul, and then sail over to a different island. And, it was like the beginning of. Oh, I loved it. Go ahead.
Have you played Sea of Thieves? You
Sea
may
of
like
Thieves.
Sea of
No,
Thieves.
but I'm gonna write it down on action items.
Because that's what I did when I was playing Sea of Thieves.
That's exactly what. When is Sea of Thieves from?
Now it's like it's
Oh my god!
active. The new seasons, new shit all the time.
What platform's it on?
PC. You got Steam?
Freaking tastic.
Good to
That's so. I've been out of the retail gaming loop for so very long because I subscribe to the PlayStation Network, the PlayStation Plus, and so you get the 2 or 3 free games a month. So I just play whatever the hell they give me, and I find a way to like it, and that's what I do. I don't acquire games on the front end anymore.
The reason
And so
I was talking about
sure
getting
it's
new
free to play.
streaming equipment. I didn't hear. What did you say, Z5?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's free to play.
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Perfect.
like the reason I was talking about getting new streaming equipment is because I have a bunch of old consoles and I really want to stream playing them, but I don't have a way to at the moment because I basically need to be able to turn RCA into HDMI, but then I also need to be able to put the HDMI into the computer. So I need to get an ATEM Mini anyway because like that would allow me to put in the same thing with like playing music live. So in order to stream music live, I'd have to be able to do HDMI into my other computer because I have one computer that runs the music and another computer that runs the stream.
Do they have USB-C to HDMI? I'm sure that exists.
Yeah, and that's what it would be is USB-C to the ATEM Mini, and then the ATEM has 4 HDMI
out.
inputs. Yeah.
Got it. That makes sense.
So basically, I'd be able to run my laptop, and that would get all my music in, and then the same thing. So yeah, earlier I was playing. Look at this shit.
Oh man, I'm jealous. Yeah. What were you on, Rev?
No, man, I'm playing the Sega Saturn.
Good for you. I appreciate it. There's something happening, man. We are not letting go. Our generation will be remembered for holding on for dear life. I don't know too many 60-year-olds that are still playing like Tiddlywinks, or the stuff they did when they were kids. But we said to hell with it. We're not quitting. I'm not turning it off.
Yep.
Gurleen's in here now, so I think we can get the party started, huh?
Woo!
There you go, Slaps. Yeah, well, I'll have to check out Sea of Thieves. Thanks for that shout out there. That's perfect. That's what I'm looking for. And like my brother and I were playing Medieval War 2, just the other day, which is still like just such a classic RTS game. Just one of the best real-time strategies I ever played out there. So I like diving back into time like that, but I'm also open to suggestions for like brand new ones that I probably have missed. I'm playing Yakuza Like a Dragon right now, and that sucker is dense. I am all wrapped up. It's a very spoof Final Fantasy. Cool. So that's kind of it for like. Oh, this was one thing I did want to ask. Does anyone know if there's any kind of like thinking about games for the Gotchiverse and Gotchi Gang and the Gotchi state of Aavegotchi as it sits? Are there any alternative games or text-based games, not necessarily like Dungeons and Dragons that far, but I don't know how many of you guys maybe did like Dragon Ball Z RPGs back in 15, 20 years ago when you're just doing like text-based story exchange with individuals to kind of progress things. Is there anything that comes to mind with any potential for that, or is it probably just like not worth the squeeze? Not worth the squeeze. Okay.
Got nothing. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, maybe that's okay. Moving on. To hell with it. Let's say reinstall.
Yeah.
Credit chart install. There we go. The hell with it.
What's funny
we'll
is
get there.
I mean, we're working on some animated series stuff, so like that's kind of the way our brain goes when we're thinking about things. Like, I suddenly had this realization about last night. I was like, oh wait, we haven't really thought much about villains in this series, and then I kind of came up with this whole thing on villains, and it came from just kind of like the thought of like how assets, like how NFT assets and how Gotchi assets apply to the logic of an animated series. Like, because typically in an animated series, you don't think about this when you're creating it, but how many times have you watched something where you're like, this totally defies what I know about this lore?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like whether it be a video game or an animated series that defies the comic book that it came from or whatever, and you catch it as a fan, but the people creating the
Sure.
series don't think about those things.
Do you see that? Do you
Like
see
a
that as a
Starbucks.
positive or negative?
Well, I mean, okay, think about it like this. I don't know if you ever played like the X-Men arcade game, for instance. But in the X-Men arcade game, Wolverine had a special move where he could like throw a laser beam like halfway across the screen.
Oh, totally. Yeah, from his claws. That's where that's
Right.
generated.
Uh,
Yeah,
You know, so like obviously
got it.
as an
I heard that with
8-year-old,
Death Note,
I
too.
was like, yeah, Wolverine doesn't have laser beams. That's I'm pretty sure Wolverine doesn't have laser beams. I'll tell you
I
that.
think we timed our call wrong this time here, Anthony. Everyone's showing up here at the damn end.
Right, right. Well, let's start
That's
from the
funny.
top.
Yeah, no kidding. That's fantastic. I'm into all of it. All of that sounds good to me. Like I said, I'm kind of like you were mentioning, Z-Fi, just to have the GMI NFTs out finally from the Artist Summit, for me is just a huge sigh of relief and kind of a and just a breathing moment. So I'm not in a rush to immediately dive right into our next effort. So I don't mind one bit the breathing room. I think it's been very useful. Heck yeah, all is well within the GMI crew. Hefe's been
Hey, Dr.
out
Wagner.
for the last week. Yeah, I had Dr. Wagme hanging out with us, and so
Check him in.
Hefe's been out for the last week, so we've been kind of just holding pattern, just breathing and taking it easy, and just reveling in ourselves and enjoying this community. You guys mentioned the Zen token earlier on 420 at being the gas spiker, but I was doing some gas contract hunting as well earlier, and I posted it in GMI in the common ground because I didn't recognize that we were so damn guzzling with our Alchemica tokens as well. We're up there close to that top 10 with just the FUD, FOMO, Alpha, and Keg.
We are the bot.
I know, it turns out our entire community is one big ass gotcha bot. I dig it. Let's see. Z-Fi, we did this last time, and I'm guilty of it again, but the October Artist of the Month is Leonardo DiGacci, and we haven't updated anything, so maybe he's the November, or, like we mentioned before, maybe it's just a staggered introduction. So that's kind of on me, because I need to get copy from him and stuff anyway, so we'll make that happen.
November sounds good. Let's plan for November there.
October, we'll have just given to the community then.
Yes, I found out that the Aavegotchi blog itself was doing a guild spotlight when we were spotlighted, or right before it, because I saw that they had also done a guild spotlight for Gotchi Mafia. And when I realized they had the same page that we had, I nuked the whole guild section.
Yeah.
Forgot to update the artist section. So yeah, we'll call it a November one, and if you can get copy, I'll get it up on the Notion.
We'll make it happen. That's kind of it for project updates, hype news, guild news, like at least trying to stay somewhat on itinerary here. Open action items, a lot of these slid over from last Friday's GMI Hangout, and it's because, hang on one second, I think this might be Dennis. If you can see my screen here, Zombie, I will kind of let you take the moment, and I'll go answer the door.
Where are we
I'm
at?
going to step in for just a
Oh,
sec.
wait.
Dr. Wagme, I just unserver muted you, so you'll need to mute on your side, just so you know your hot mic.
My bad, guys.
Oh, cool. Oh, you're no, good. I don't know when the server mute was, but I saw that you were server muted, so I just took it off, and I didn't want you to not know that your mic was hot.
I appreciate that.
I got you.
So I actually can't see the notes anymore because as soon as he answered the phone, they went away. So I don't know what happened there.
Oh, let me get that up then. Let me see. Notion notes. Switch from Bankless. Go to me. Go to this one. I should have this favorited. I have so much stuff in my Notion.
Hey, who unmuted Dr. Wagme? That's no good there, huh?
I did.
I don't mind. The man's attending GMI calls while saving lives. I love it. Is there anything or open action items? I don't know how many of these read through. The Clifton Strength test is going to likely pass. We've got another hour left on that voting. Any Def GMI members? So Dr. Wagme slaps you guys if you want to check out the Def GMI or Def GMI voters. There are 2 proposals sitting in there via Seshbot polls that you can vote on. John got you Web 3 School. If you haven't finished it, get on it. It still makes sense. I got to contact an agent for consultation.
Can somebody drop the link for that?
I'm going to lean on Z5 for that. I know he'll show up with it.
Hold, please.
Girl, ladies, we need to do this. We're dropping
At least everyone needs to do it. Oh, look at that. Boom, that's so perfect.
Boom.
It's worth doing. This, lessons 6 and 7 can start to be like, oh, what the hell? But just take a moment and crack the code. It's worth completing. Finish all 10 of these. This is Gotchi Bulls. Cool. This is John Gotchi's platform in development. He's building what's known as his Web3 school, and so it's wrapped in Aavegotchi lore initially because it's his origins, but it's essentially like an onboarding educational tool to teach people that have never had a crypto wallet, how to get a wallet, how to connect a wallet, how to sign a transaction, how to make a swap, how to make an LP, how to set up, how to create an LP, how to do a whole bunch of, he's got 10 lessons, I think, or 11 if you count 0 through 10, of completion steps to incorporate into your onboarding of Web3 familiarity. And it's just really good. It's really, really interesting. It's very promising. And I want people in Gotchi Gang to complete it and use it so that way you can see the potential for it. Because it's not going to be just this singular one layer of just, oh, here's for Gotchi Gang to do Gotchi stuff and see alchemical tokens as they onboard. It can be extrapolated to almost any kind of educational concept. Think of it almost like a Duolingo, it's kind of like that. It's like just a teaching aid. Duolingo's teaching, I think, Valerian right now from Game of Thrones, which was a huge takeoff of obviously not real language. And so it's a reminder that they can teach anything. It's just an educational incentives platform. And so that's what John Gotchi's Web3 School is all about. It's freaking dope. And if you haven't made it to John Gotchi's parcels on Saturday morning to start off the Hangouts, then you're doing yourself a disservice. The Saturday morning Hangout party starts at John Gotchi's Web3 School.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Good. Yeah, you guys are getting into that. And he's working on some loot box stuff too. It's really dope. I got to find me an agent to talk to. I'm probably going to reach out to one in Colorado and also one in Nevada. I'm kind of hoping that there's some kind of secret path for DAOs to become legal entities inside of the state of Nevada's registration that most of us have maybe missed, mostly because Vegas is close and I love opportunities to go to Nevada. So still on the horizon. Clifton test scheduling is dependent upon the proposal passing, but so far it looks like unanimous. Brainstorm the third GMI ecosystem event. This is a carryover from last week as well. We talked about just kind of a whole bunch of different ideas. I think there's a lot of decent ones, game jams, hackathon, a couple different things. One thing I do want to list on here somewhere, I don't know where's the right spot, maybe just down here. New programming for Friday. Do you guys think that D420 is a 2-hour show or a 1-hour show?
It's a 2-hour show.
I think it was initially a 1-hour call, but it became a 2-hour program.
So,
there's some consideration.
2 hours. I don't know.
I think it was always sold as a 1 hour, and every episode they've ran long. That's what I think is
that might be
the case, but regardless. There's been some discussion about filling that slot between the D420 and the GMI call that we're on right now. And so, if anyone is brave and wants to try something, we can create a platform for you and give you a shot at it. This, makes me think of like Backside with the Gotcha News that he was looking at doing, or some kind of anything. I've thought maybe just a musical production. It's just like a 1 hour rotating playlist of Gotcha Gang submitted beats and tracks. It could be something that simple. It could be a showcase. It could be like a showcase show where it's not active programming where you're sitting there talking. It could just be
the music thing could work out, because I am thinking about trying to do like a music show basically every night at 8 p.m. Well, 8 p.m. my time, which is that block. So it would actually work out that Friday would be my like gotchi music night. But kind of the thing I'm trying to do is it would be like some nights I might be actually working on music and doing things in the studio live. But most nights it would probably be just talking about business and like music business and all that kind of stuff and how it ties in with Web3. I've been doing a lot of research on all this stuff, and I feel like it's my niche. It's what I want to be doing. So, yeah.
Would you want to run that programming Friday night?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying. If I can get in this groove, like that would kind of
Yeah,
be,
that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I could do it right after D420.
So,
I could start it on Fridays and then work other nights.
So you can do some showcase, start with your own stuff, start close to home, and if you've got anything to showcase or share, and it can be repeat. If you play the same couple tracks every week, that's fine. It doesn't have to be fresh material week on week, but I'm wondering if you can't build maybe like a little bit of lens curation or a little bit of stems DAO curation into the mix and do some on tape exploration and hunting of like, let's go check it out.
Yeah, the main thing would just be about making sure that we don't get flagged with the DMCA stuff. We just need to make sure that whatever we're streaming is not going to get flagged. Because, yeah, you get flagged 3 times, your channel gets taken down.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, that's pretty relevant, so be aware of that. Don't set yourself up for failure. Yeah. So that's something maybe. Let me put that here. Friday night. Oh, actually, I think, didn't I already make a note down here? Yeah, here we go. So
and that's actually a really low chill. That's like a chill way to just have something happen.
And that's what I want to see is not a real constructed programming, but just kind of a vibe program. Just something to carry over. People can maybe just put on in the background and half listen to because it's not too active in its communication. Right. Just something, a vibe show, just a lava lamp. And then we'll get to the GMI call.
I'll get No Future to hook me up with some of his tracks. I've got some of my own stuff, gotchi and non-gotchi, and then besides that, we'll just see, if FaZe and Super Paul have some more like original or not like pop music.
Well, and even I'm sitting here looking at Slaps' art that he's dropping in there, and I mean it's almost like the Artist Summit showcase reel on the back end. You can just kind of do a mini version of that. If people give you stuff to share, then you can share stuff on their behalf. Otherwise, you just do some active curation.
Yeah, Slaps, you do music too, right?
Well, and Gotchi Bulls is a rapper, so Gotchi.
NFTs. Oh yeah, well.
Gotchi Bulls is gonna do some rap tracks for us.
Yeah, I mean, really, it can just be we can start to put out a thing and be like, hey, make us up, start submitting some things to GMI, and I'll get you on the playlist. GMI will have our own playlist. There you go.
That's exactly correct. Yeah, it's like what's that one? Mixtape.lens. Yeah. Just kind of taking an angle on that is we'll have Gotcha Gang mixtape. Let me make sure I actually read this message from Dr. Wagby. It looks relevant here. The Forge will likely need to post some art bounties if any GMI people are interested in picking that up. So also I'd like a Forge launch party that will need an event planner for another bounty opportunity. The community will also need a bunch of education on what we are building. So let me know if there's interest in making some content for that. Podcast, dedicated spaces. We should have a good budget to work with. Hey, you said all the magic words. We're in. Whatever you need. We'll do all of it. Yeah, we can take care of top to bottom, tip to tail, just as involved as you need us to be. If you're really good about identifying your needs individually, and so you tell us what you need and where you'd like to see some strength reinforcements, and we'll fill in the gaps as needed. Always freaking love Dr. Wagby, man. Single-handedly, his
it's gonna need a gotchi black metal band. We're gonna.
This man listens. Event planning in Vegas, exactly correct. This is how it shall be. I went and saw Six. I don't know if you guys know what Six is. Six is like a Broadway musical production that's based on the history of the 6 wives of Henry VIII. It's basically the Tudors. But I saw that in Vegas and was tripping balls. I had a liquid THC, like a drink, and then had half a chocolate bar, so I was well up to like 80 milligrams at once. And I had never I never seen what I saw. It was amazing. It was a good time. That was they dropped so much glitter. I've never been somewhere. I've never seen a show where so much like confetti, metallic style, not glitter, big scale glitter, large scale glitter. It is gold metallicized glitter that all fell at once, and it was so dense that I couldn't see through it. And so you just see moving air everywhere you look. The air is just shimmering and moving. It was a mind-blowing experience.
Nice. What band was that? What show was that?
It's a Broadway show called Six. And it's just based on the Six Wives of Henry VIII. I had never seen it, never heard about it, nothing like that. My wife was in love with the album, so she scheduled it all. And I dug it for as hard as I was going. It was the right call for the bill. Shit was fun.
Nice.
Zombie,
like
you're so dark. Yeah, very similar. That sounds like you guys don't. I hope a lot of you like soccer moms are in here tripping balls too, because you should be. Like, this is a good show. Someone in production knows what's up. Let's see. Clifton test scheduling, we'll get that done. Ecosystem, talked about that. October/November Artist Summit of the Month. For Leonardo Aavegotchi. I still want to catch something with Laura and Nucky. Laura specifically, she's the social target for the Aussie crowd. Nucky is just hilarious, and he's a blast, and he's a character. He didn't have the same kind of social following that Laura has built for herself, so I'd love to get Laura on a programming stint of some sort and swing the GMI clock around to cater to the rest of the world as well, because we've been pretty biased over here. Game jams, and then this Common Ground. I think Zombie were you the one that brought this up last week? CommonGround.cg, this like alternate Discord potential platform.
No, I did not. I forget who brought
that up, but yeah, we'll dig into that.
What's
going on, Harambe?
Yeah, there was
What's up, guys? How you doing?
That was like that. Doing all right, man. How are you?
Pretty good. Tired, but good.
You don't sound tired at all, man. You sound like you're just getting ready to kick some ass.
Oh, I am. Gonna shoot some people in an FPS.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. I've been kicking ass with a bat and Yakuza. Same deal. Has anyone been keeping up with Gotcha Stats with Jared on this little shooter that he's been developing and releasing his dev videos on LensTube?
No, I haven't seen that.
Cool.
That sounds interesting.
You got some catching up to do. I hope to God it doesn't gate it to where you have to have an agent pistol to play, because then I need to make up an acquisition. But check out, I think he goes by gotchystats.lens, and that is Jared from WAGMI Warriors. It's the same everything. And so check him out on LensTube, and you'll find his devlog. I haven't checked it here lately, so he might have some more updates. But I think he was already up to like 9 little dev diaries of this platform that he's building. It's very cool. It's like multiplayer enabled gotchis that are running around in a fixed dimension space, like you're in a locked room, and there will be randomly spawned liquidators that physically try to come and touch you, and your idea is to keep that distance and keep killing them, zombie horde style. And so he's using the agent pistol, using gotchi assets, doing some cool stuff. That's kind of all I got, guys. We're at 9:07. Where we can just go open format, and I'll quit talking. So, yeah, open stage. Anybody have anything that they'd like to share? How's everyone been doing?
I'm just excited for the Forge, man. Good work, Dr. Wagner.
Single hand at 50% of the governance action in our entire ecosystem comes from one person. This is a herald to you, sir, and a shame on us. But thank you for continuing to make sure that we don't fall through the gaps and you keep us moving forward.
Yeah, much love, guys. I'll be talking about the Forge tomorrow at the Hangout.
Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, perfect.
Well, good deal. I was looking forward to more information there.
It's a good idea. And something I'm seeing across the space in a lot of different communities is just the vacuum and the lack of community interaction. Things are like really thin right now. People are community calls. Yeah. What are you guys pulling at Bankless? Like 10 to 50 per community call?
I think more than that, but well, maybe not. maybe not.
Yeah, I mean it's not that bad on the community call, but I've read something the other day that said like Decentraland had 38 people in it. That was like the whole
Yep.
day. Like
One
I
point
think it
six
was a bit
billion
more
dollars.
than that, but I don't think it was above 600 as far as I know. I think it was like 2 to 600, I guess.
And so it actually made me feel better seeing Gacha Gang at 30 to 50 at any given time is pretty decent. Like we're competing with multi-million dollar developments with Sandbox and Decentraland. We're calling in just as much active interaction.
It's just a time of patience, and the bear market doesn't help, for patience with devs, I guess.
right.
I'm finding not even so much like frustration from community, not builders, right? So like users. I'm not finding a lot of frustration or what the hell or come on. I'm finding like just the dissolving of attention span. I'm
Yeah,
finding that
no
people
one's
are just
around anymore.
putting it on the shelf and being like, "Well, see you later."
Let's be real, we're all waiting for PvP, Like, building it's interesting, and it's like, the economic side of the game, but people want to shoot their bows at people and hit them with portal mage axes,
Did anybody in this room ever play Rev Motorsports? Any of you guys play the Web3 based racing game? Wow. What about Zed Run, the horse betting?
I had a friend who got into that super early, like 2017, and he showed me 2 horses. One was worth like 8 Ethereum or something. It was insane.
There's some like 60 to 120 ETH horses on the market today. I was looking last night, and
That's
I mean,
crazy.
I've always liked Rev. If you've never played Rev, I would recommend you probably go take a quick look at it because I would happily, quite honestly, fork them or rip them off and do a Gotchi racing that's themed on the same style of their whole entire protocol. But Rev it works. Like this has always been the question that I have for GameFi and whatnot is what happened to Rev? Like why doesn't is it racing games? Is it that the genre of racing games is just not compelling enough and there's not enough density between the Web3 and racing game crossover to support an entire protocol? Because it works right now and you can go over there with your steering wheel, Anthony, you can beat ass because you can actually have some actual control. You
I don't know if I can use this steering wheel.
You might. Maybe not that one. Okay, maybe not that one specifically.
Well, I know a lot of the racing games are like stat based, so after a while, it's just kind of like, do I have a good horse? Am I entering the right races and stuff?
And it's definitely still true for both of these platforms. If you've got a nicer car, now mind you, the platforms have done as much as they can to like break out by classes, and so a lot like what we're probably going to go through with PvP is what's our classification system or our ranking system. I think we've talked about like I don't remember what the name of that acronym is in chess that they use. Match MMR, right? Matchmaking ranking. Yeah, matchmaking rating or something like that. And so we're gonna go through. Good lord! And now we got Nadiel in here. This is a reverse call, and I appreciate everybody showing up here at the end of it. Yeah, we've got art royalty in here now. This is the place to be on a Friday night. I'll tell you that, guys. Harambe, what's going on in your world? You've always got something going on. You always know about something that no one else does. What's happening in your life?
I went fishing a little bit ago and been showing a bit.
I did not know that.
Pretty much, I've been brainstorming my own game because I want to get a little creative. So I've been thinking about lore and game mechanics and stuff like that.
If you were going to build a game, what would you be building it on? Like within Aavegotchi and trying to use the Unity platform? Or are you looking at like JavaScript? Or what do you think?
Like hard researching which one because I'm not a game dev, so definitely gonna have to pay people to build it for me. I'm considering all the ups and downs of each. I like Unity a lot. It's pretty cool, but I don't know. Like, if you want some alpha on the idea, it's an island exploration type game. Ship fights, ship building.
Go on. Yeah.
Just like RPG, a lot of skills. I want to.
Well, and I think
incorporate
for me,
a lot.
I can't. I remember a time in my life when graphics are what compelled me, and wow, look at the resolution of these graphics in this video game, and that was what made me want to play that game. And it's ironic how that's all unwound. Like, I'll take your 8-bit as long as you have an interesting story. Just have some actual interaction with me and a good crafting system and some build out, and I'm in.
Yeah, I'm taking a lot of inspiration from like Puzzle Pirates, RuneScape, like a lot of that old stuff.
Z heard my eyes crunching. Sorry, partner. Yeah, that really happened. Dr. Wagman here in the chat. He's hoping for a show of power and competency from the DAO, which will hopefully further motivate Pixelcraft. He thinks that we can likely beat PvP to launch with the Forge. I agree with that completely. Is the Forge gonna introduce a huge dev lift? Is it going to require a lot of contract management or like organic contract creation with this idea of merging assets or 1 + 2 = A kind of a thing? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, there'll be quite a bit of work from that perspective. The mechanics end up being like fairly complicated to turn a lot of NFTs into other NFTs, and then having that be composable to the point where you can make new FTs out of that and have burn mechanics worked in. So it's going to be a moderate dev lift, and then we'll be developing the first SDK, right? Because this will probably be not an installation on your parcel, but something you interact with in the Gotchiverse. That'll be a smart contract. So I'm hoping this kind of paves the way forward with SDKs, and then we can take off immediately on launch of this with like what SDKs will really look like, and then we'll have a dev team from the DAO in place to really deliver on what SDKs will look like after delivering the Forge.
So the Forge will beat PvP because the Forge will divert the dev resources.
We are planning to do all of the smart contract work, artwork, like economics ourselves. The only thing we're going to ask PC to do is like the literal Forge art that they want in the Gotchiverse. So I'm hoping this doesn't delay too much.
Has there
Yeah,
been
he did say he had a separate team for PvP, so I was just throwing that out there. I
That's
think they
actually
do have a
relevant.
separate team
Well,
working
I haven't.
on that.
Has the DAO produced like mechanical structure like this prior?
No, this is first one, and we've been talking about what more concrete DAO leadership would look like, what paid positions would look like, and a lot of the people interested in this project would be the ones that are interested in more formal DAO leadership roles. So like Diddly Poo taking on like a technical lead, Mickey J taking on like an operations lead, and so bringing in the biggest brains to come together on this, be productive, put something forward, and hold up the DAO.
That makes good sense, putting the DAO itself to work.
Yeah, for sure. Especially during this like downtime, right? We got to keep our builders engaged the most we can.
Well, not so much just like DAOs can be more than just authorization; they can also be labor forces. That's cool.
Wasn't no futuristic talking about roach clips one time? Look, I got a FOMO roach clip right here.
Oh, that's special, friend.
I saw the bottom of that first when I tabbed in, and I was like, that doesn't look like a roach.
That's one of them square ones. So that's it for me. Farming strategy in general, yeah, nothing serious. Boom, done. We're done. We're cool, guys. Who's got anything else on their mind? Everyone showed up here late, so by all means, if anyone has anything they want to share. Supreme, how you been? DJ Super Paul. Actually, Super Paul, you've got some relevance for the content we were discussing earlier. Maybe Nadil as well, for the Friday night programming that we were discussing. So Zombie's going to likely take the lead on doing some new programming creation for Friday evenings that stretches in between the D420 call ending and the GMI call starting. We're looking at not having like heavy production where there's lots of talking and scripting, but mostly like just a chill call, a vibe call. And so he's thinking that he might procure some music and then do some curation of his music productions, potentially yours as well, Supreme, and getting on Lens and finding some stuff. In terms of Nano, I see it in terms of art production. If you guys have some art that you'd like to showcase, we can likely put that on the stream as well and share that across the programming. we're very close. No Future has not let go of this concept of this Gotchi News Network and this 24-hour Gotchi programming reel, and we'll get there soon enough. So,
Yep. I like
maybe
this idea.
go ahead. I think it's a good idea too. Now it already sounds like a real thing, right? Like, just in the last hour, it's gone from a thought to being like, no, that's what we're doing. That's a good idea. It's a good program.
Because basically, when D420 is ending, I'll literally start up my stream right away, and then like, or actually, if it depends if I'm doing it through the GMI stream or my own. But either way, I can basically just like be in Sound of the Ghost as soon as D420 ends. This starts with music, you know, and then it just goes until for the hour.
Slaps this damn baby liquidator, man. This baby liquidator's turning into a thing.
We need to just build a Notion page that has all the music resources, whether it be links to SoundCloud links or because if it's SoundCloud stuff, I can build my own playlists. If it's Spotify, same thing, I can build playlists. And then if it's actually like WAV files and things, then I can do more. That would be the more hands-on type of DJing stuff, which would still be really cool, especially once I get the ATEM Mini, because then I would be able to do the DJing on another computer, and I could actually do like live remixes.
So I'm loving what I'm hearing. I also want to see some kind of integration or crossover using some of the Stems DAO pieces specifically, so we can pull them into our realm and be like, hey, guess what? We're already like we have a program showcasing, remixing y'all's assets. I think that could possibly get motivated.
Hell yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. I'm looking through the room here. I think we're good. Dr. Wagme, do you have anything else that you wanted to kind of share with the group before we bounce out of here?
Nope, I'm good. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's have
See you guys.
a not 2 hour call, and we'll get out of here. Z-Fi, you plug away.
One quick plug. If y'all aren't doing the Freckle Trivia that Aavegotchi partnered with a few months back, August, they're doing it again. Next week is another Aavegotchi partnership. They got
Cool.
Aavegotchi prizes up for grabs, lawnmower V4s, toys, shirts, cool stuff. Hot sauce.
Sweet.
I've been at the channel since the original Aavegotchi partnership week and been playing every week. It's fun. So if you're not over there yet, there's every week. I've missed, I think, a total of 3 days.
Good job.
Right? Priorities. Won twice.
Yeah, priorities.
I won an NFT and I won a toy, so that was cool. But yeah, they're doing another week of partnership next week, and there are Gotchi prizes up for grabs. Fake Gotchi cards, fake Gotchi
Oh shit! They rug
lists.
Gotchi Bulls on his shirt though. What's going on with that?
I don't know.
He just put it up in the text chat. He says they never sent him the shirt that he won.
They just sent a shipment like yesterday or a couple of days ago. It's coming. They're legit.
I will say Gotchi Bulls that you've been in here the whole time. I showed off that Katakali Dancers acrylic print. That sucker took me 6 months to receive. And they took my address 6 months ago, and so a lot of us that were in that winning group were already back channeling with each other, being like, "What the hell? Who's coming to our house? Like, this does not look good." But sometimes stuff's just really slow. Who knows where Freckle's based out of? My thing came from India, Bangalore, and so it was a long haul.
You know what? Damn,
6
you
months
just made me
apparently.
realize. I just remembered. Usually I don't wait this long, but I'm actually waiting on an order from Ultrasound merch that hasn't come. That I just remembered the other day. I was like, wait a second.
I'm a little jealous of this. What did you get?
Oh well, I got a Fight Club T-shirt and I think a Perchy, something Perchy. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, it was the Perchy Win Merge T-shirt.
Nice.
So
That
the merge
sounds
has
nice.
happened, and I still haven't gotten the shirt.
Oh, damn. That's funny. Yeah, Peachy's cool too, Gotchi Bulls, but Perchy's pretty awesome. Yeah, Peachy and Perchy, I like them both. They're both big fans of both of those entities. Let's see, got you bulls. We've been going all night. Gerline, always appreciate you hanging out with us. Zombie's done a good job of tricking you into hanging out with us more than you probably should, and it's only going to get worse. So I appreciate you coming and hanging out. Harambe, it's always good to see you because we haven't had you in here in a little bit, so it's good to hear your voice and have you checking in with us.
Yeah, man, I'll be back around more now.
Oh, for sure. The whole thing's, like I said, Hefe's
Me
out
too.
this whole week. I was out all last week. Everyone's just catching their breath. There's no rush. We're in a good space right now to just kind of stretch our wings, breathe, and we'll see everyone tomorrow morning for the damn community hangout. We'll have a good time.
Peace, guys.
All right.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
See y'all in the morning.
See everybody.
Peace.